Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. Today, we're diving into a powerful truth about vibrant energy. If you've been following me along, you know that my power word of this year is vibrant. Earlier this year, I shared with you some of my plans and the things that I was doing to help me feel vibrant and radiate vibrant energy into others. I've become kind of obsessed with the pursuit of vibrant energy. And here's the truth. Feeling vibrant is addictive. Once you have felt it, you want more of it. Today, I'm going to share with you the ultimate secret to vibrant energy. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. This year, I've been making energy, health, and wellness my core priorities. I have perfected my routines to support me. I've been mindful about my nutrition. After all, you are what you eat, as they said, or rather, you feel as what you eat. Food is our primary source of energy, so what you eat really, really matters. I've also leaned into biohacking to generate that vibrant energy that I was after. All these efforts have been kind of the center of my approach and my strategy to bring my powered word of this year to life. And I'm thinking I'll probably be sharing more about my strategies in another episode and give you an update on how it's going, what are some things that I've discovered so far this year that are really helping me in creating that vibrant energy. But today I want to discuss a realization that I've had in my journey towards vibrancy. And that is that the secret to feeling and being vibrant, it's not the nutrition, it's not the biohacking, it's not any of those things. Although those things really, really help, they can make a big, big difference. Especially if it's something that you're passionate about, like I am. I've become kind of obsessed and a nerd around those things. But the secret to feeling and being vibrant is authenticity. Being yourself is incredibly energizing. It's easy to go through life and just go through the motions and feeling depleted. But when you're true to yourself, it feels like you're alive. So let's explore this for a second. Think about it. Just think about it for just a minute, right? When or where in your life do you feel the most energized and excited? Is it when you are with certain people? Is it when you're doing a specific activities? Or perhaps when you're engaging in a hobby that you love? For me, what I have realized is that I feel most vibrant when I'm spending time with people that I love, when I'm creating content like this podcast, when I'm traveling and discovering new places and new cultures and I'm learning, when I am growing and learning, and when I'm making an impact in other people's lives. All of these activities give me a surge of energy and excitement. And certainly is when I feel the most vibrant when I'm doing these things. For example, when this podcast, when I'm working on the podcast, I can spend hours preparing for the podcast, researching, brainstorming ideas, talking here, recording. I feel deeply fulfilled when I'm doing this work. This is what happens when you're being truly yourself. You can tap into this well of energy that feels like limitless. You feel like time is going just slower, like everything quiets around you. And you have this surge of incredible energy. Now, I want you to reflect for a second. What might be those things for you? We're all different, so for you is going to be something else, but what is for you? And if you can't think of anything right now, that's okay. You can take a trip down your memory lane and think back in time when you were the happiest, the most energized. What were you doing? Who were you with? What activities were filling your days? What were those things that when you were doing those things and you were with those people, you felt like time stopped and you were truly yourself and you felt fully energized? For me, when I try to remember back in time, one specific moment, I could narrow it down to a few, but I'm going to share one with you. And that was back in 2021. I was feeling really down, really sad, really frustrated. We were in the middle of the pandemic, if you remember. That was 2021. And that year, I had a milestone birthday. And the plan all along is that I was going to celebrate my birthday with my family who lives in Spain. So they were going to come here and spend some time with us, and we were going to celebrate together. But the borders were closed, and they couldn't come for my birthday. And I was almost depressed to a point because it had been over a year, almost 2 years of the pandemic. And I had not seen my family in all that time. And I thought, now I'm finally going to reunite with my family again, and it didn't happen. And that was the only thing that I wanted for my birthday. That was the only thing that I wanted. Anyways, I was very, very sad and frustrated and almost depressed. And I told myself, okay, if life gives you lemons, let's make some lemonade. What can I do? What can I do to make this birthday special? Something that I can remember for the rest of my life. And then if you know me, I'm so much into personal growth and personal development. And I thought maybe I can buy myself a ticket to a conference. Like now they're doing all these conferences virtually. I don't even have to travel. It will be less expensive. I can get a ticket to a conference that I've been wanting to go for years. And I started to get a little bit excited about that idea. And then as days passed on and I was looking for which conference I would sign up for, and I was looking at the speakers in one event and the other event, there was a lot of virtual events going on that year. I told myself, what if I put together a conference? What if I do my own? What if I invite people that I admire and I put this together? And I had this vision. I could see it in my head. And the first thing that I did, in very much Carolina's style, I posted it in LinkedIn and I said, and in Facebook and I don't know where else. And I said, I am throwing out a virtual conference for my birthday. It's going to be amazing. And I started talking about it just in the way that I saw it in my vision. But here's the thing. I had no idea how to put this thing together. I've never done this before. I've never been part of putting an event like this before. I'm no one. I know no one that, I know all these people from reading their books and listening to their podcasts, but I don't know them personally. How am I going to get these people to speak at an event that I'm putting together? Anyways, I figured it out. I did. The energy, that journey of learning how to put this together and actually putting it together, the energy of researching and deciding how I was going to call this conference and what topics I wanted this conference to be about, and making a list of all the people that I wanted to speak at my conference. And I started sending emails and messages to all of these people. And then I got the first one who said yes, who actually is someone that I knew. And I think him saying yes to speak at my conference, which was at the same time that he was launching a new book. I'm talking about Scott Miller, the host of the At Leadership podcast with Scott Miller from Franklin Covey. And he saying yes gave me confidence that I could get more yeses. So I kept writing messages. I did voice messages, I did emails, I did video messages. Long story short, I filled up 3 full days of a virtual conference where, other than 2 hours, the rest was guest speakers. I only spoke for 2 hours in that conference. Everything else was other people. And all these people didn't know me. They had never heard about my podcast. They had their own businesses, and I'm sure that they charged to speak at events. I was sure about that, but I had nothing to offer. But I'm convinced that what they felt was my energy. That high vibration in my energy that convinced them to say yes and participate in putting together the Thrive Conference, which started in 2021. So around my birthday, I hosted this 3 full day conference, and it was amazing. That 3 days where I was truly myself. I was enjoying every second of it like a little kid. I had the most vibrant energy. I was standing up. I did not sit down once. I barely ate during those 3 days because it was 3 full days of the conference. And I was the producer and the editor and the host, and I was wearing so many hats that I had no time to take a break. And I was not tired. I was feeling super, 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 super energized. That's what I mean, that authenticity is the secret to vibrant energy. I was being truly and fully myself in putting together this event, in hosting this event, in my interactions with the people. I was not pretending to be someone else. I was just truly myself and showing myself as I am. And I was attracting people to come and join me in this crazy idea that I had. The thing is that sadly, sometimes we forget who we truly are and we stop showing up authentically because we are afraid of being judged. We are afraid of disappointment. We are afraid of disappointing others, right? So, like in this story that I share with you, I was my true self, but how many times I have not? How many times I have stopped showing up in that way? And most of the times that I have is because of this fear of being judged or fear of being disappointed or disappointing others. The hardest thing in this world is to be authentic. That is the truth. Because there are so many expectations put on us. Being authentic sometimes means that you have to be unpopular. And our human nature craves acceptance and belonging. And we pretend to be someone that we are not unconsciously. It's not even not consciously, it's unconsciously, in a way of protecting ourselves from that judgment and disappointment. Because we want to be accepted and we want to belong. So what do? We become mirrors of others around us. We do what others do. We talk like others talk in order to be accepted and in order to belong. And the more we do that, sometimes without intentionally doing it, as I said, unconsciously doing it, the more we forget and walk away and get away and distance ourselves from our true selves. Now, let me ask you a different question, because we talked about an activity or something that makes you feel vibrant. But let's talk about people and how people influence your levels of energy as well. Let me ask you this. Are there people in your life who, when their name pops up on your phone, it gives you a burst of energy? When you receive a text from those people, when you see those people, all of a sudden you feel this burst of energy. Who are those people? What makes you come alive when you're around them? I truly believe that the reason you feel that way is because you can truly be yourself when you're with them. Here's the thing, who you surround yourself with matters. We've talked about this before. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But beyond that, who you surround yourself matters because it impacts your energy and your ability to be yourself, to be authentic. I believe that living authentically often requires setting boundaries, even with people who are unhealthy or invalidating. This might lead to maybe you having a smaller social circle or a smaller network, but one that is healthy and more supportive. And I'm not talking about stop talking to certain people, but you don't have to spend every day with those people that are draining your energy. Think about who are those people. And sometimes those people are family and you're like, I can't stop talking to my family. I'm not suggesting that, right? They are in your life. They play a role in your life. They might be important for you. But when there maybe are even people who you love deeply, but when you're with them, they drain your energy. So you need to be very mindful of when and how you surround with people and what boundaries you put to protect your energy. When you live aligned with what's right for you, your friend group might shrink because you start to value people and situations that bring you energy. And that's okay. That's okay. And maybe that's what you need to hear today, that it is okay. Maybe you already knew this, but you were afraid of setting those boundaries because you didn't want to disappoint anyone or make anyone feel uncomfortable. It is okay. You are the most important person in your life. The relationship with yourself is the most important relationship you'll ever have in this life. And I think energy, just like I said, being authentic is the secret for vibrant energy. Energy is the truth teller when it comes to authenticity. What do I mean by that? Whenever you're doing something, whenever you are interacting with someone, how you feel, the energy that you feel is a teller on whether or not when you're doing that thing or when you're with that person, you are truly yourself. Because remember, I said sometimes we forget about who we truly are. And the more that we try to be someone that we're not, the more we forget about who we truly are. So for me this year, in this pursuit of vibrant energy, when I realized this, when I figured this out, when I had this aha moment that authenticity was the true secret for vibrant energy, that no matter how good I eat, it doesn't matter how much I move my body and I do my infrared sauna or my red light therapy, or I stop drinking coffee and introduce mushroom coffee into my routines, or how much I meditate or I journal, none of that is going to give me the vibrancy that I'm looking for unless I can be authentic. When I had that aha moment, I went into this journey of trying to find out who truly I am. Who is my true self? Who am I when I'm fully authentic? Because here's the thing, when I ask myself that question, I'm like, That is a good question. And I journal about it. And I was staring at a blank piece of paper for a long time. Or I started writing something, and as I was writing, I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like this is it, right? And I'm talking after having gone through this program, I think was in 2022. I went through this program of rediscovering myself, which was so eye-opening. And that really, really helped me to find myself and who is my authentic self and who I want to be. But still, there are times that out of fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of disappointment, fear of not belonging, I show up with a mask. And the longer you wear the mask, you can't tell the difference between when you're using the mask and when you're not using the mask. But your energy can help you figure that out. As part of living authentically, certain people or situations might no longer feel right. You need to pay attention to the feeling. It's your energy telling you who's draining and who's not. When you're in a situation that is aligned with who you are at the core and is aligned with what you value, you are going to feel energized and lift up. The same is true with being in the wrong situation or the wrong people in the wrong room. Setting boundaries in our relationships is so crucial. Being authentic is not easy. It takes bravery and courage. Authentic people are sometimes seen as selfish or, I don't know, selfish. I think that's the word I'm looking for because they draw boundaries. But in reality, they're just protecting their energy and their well-being. And I think we all need to do a little bit more of that. So let's talk about how to start living as your true self, how to embrace authenticity so you can have this vibrant energy and always feel like that. And here are some questions that can help you find the energy that doesn't lie, right? For example, and again, these are questions that I've been working on this year and have been very helpful. So I hope it can help you as well. The first one is, where in your life do you feel the most energized and excited? Where in your life do you feel the most energized and excited? The second question is, are there certain people that when their name pops up on your phone, you feel uplifted? Again, are there certain people that when their name pops on your phone, you feel uplifted? The fourth question, what activities make you lose track of time because you enjoy them so much? What are those activities that you lose track of time because you enjoy them so much? And the last question, what makes you come alive? What excites you? Who excites you? If you're feeling drained and off track, think back to when you were happier and more energized. What were you doing? Maybe you were playing in a sports team. Maybe you were writing or playing an instrument or traveling or making people laugh, learning something new. Can you bring some of those activities back into your life now? How can you sprinkle some of those things throughout your day so it helps you feel vibrant? For me, I'll tell you that my morning routine is part of that without knowingly doing it, right? I was doing my morning routine for a different reason, but as I'm reflecting, I'm like, wow, like my morning routine is packed with things that make me feel alive, things that I enjoy, things that make me feel good, things that are aligned with my values and who I am and how I see the world and what I see it's important in my life, right? My morning routine is packed with things that are aligned with my true self, with my values. And that's why any day that I skip my morning routine, I'm a little bit more grumpy. I'm not as vibrant and energized. That is why. I came to that realization as a result of this discovery, that self-discovery. And maybe you're going to say, well, I already knew this. Well, I didn't. It was, sometimes you hear these things in theory, but it's until it clicks in your mind through an experience, a personal experience, that you actually realize that that's what's happening. And that is that aha moment that happened to me. Living authentically and tapping into this energy doesn't always require big changes. That's also a realization that I had this year. Sometimes it's the small things that can make the biggest difference. For me, it's movement, for example. Something that I wake up every morning looking forward to, even on days that I don't feel like exercising. I do it because I know that it will make me feel better. It gives me that boost of endorphins and lights up all those happy chemicals in my brain. Lately, I've been incorporating short breathing meditation practices, and I've been forcing that a little bit into my life. And at the beginning, it felt that way. It felt forced. And I was not feeling the energy. So it was hard to keep up with it and be consistent because it's not aligned with myself. I'm very much, my energy is more masculine than feminine. And I think I talked about the difference between these two energies, but I'm more a go-getter, right? Not so much someone who is able to slow down and relax. That's always challenging for me. That's why I've been intentional about including things like breathing and meditation. Started with meditation, but now I couple it with breathing and it's more appealing. It's more aligned with myself. And that has really, really helped me to center myself, to clear my mind, to set a positive tone for the day. So again, my morning routine is that one thing that by making little tweaks to my routine, it can have a big impact in my energy. And again, I'll talk more about, and I'll do an episode just on things I'm doing around nutrition and biohacking and exercise and all of those things for my energy, which have been life-changing, all of them. But what I wanted to say today, my point today is that to live more authentically, you don't need to make big changes. It's just small adjustments. For example, one thing you can do is reconnect with a passion. Is there a hobby that you used to love, but you have let it slip away because you got busy and life got in the middle and you stopped practicing that hobby? One way that you can show up more as yourself is dedicating some time each week to reconnect with that passion. Another thing you can do is reach out to energizing people. Make a list of all the people who uplift and energize you and schedule regular chats with them. Who are those people that you can truly be yourself when you're with them? No filters, no mask. You feel that uplifting energy. Number 3 is your daily rituals, right? I just talked about this, but how can you incorporate small rituals that bring you joy? It can be anything, right? In my case, is movement, is journaling, is personal development. Maybe for you is a morning walk, maybe is meditation. What are things that you can incorporate in your daily ritual that helps you connect more with you and your authentic self, with things that you value? Maybe for you, it's not exercise at all, but it's just sitting down in a quiet place, enjoying a cup of coffee. Maybe it's listening to your favorite music. I don't know what that is for you. It's up to you to figure out what that is. The other thing, we also talked about it today, is to set boundaries. Sometimes feeling drained is a result of not setting boundaries. Learning to say no to activities and to people that exhaust you and saying yes to those that give you energy. Because remember, I am pretty sure, and if you think through, if you do me a favor and think about this. When you think about the people and activities that energize you, I bet the reason why you came up with those activities and those people is because you can be your authentic self when you're doing those things and when you're with those people. Now, being authentic is not just about feeling energized, right? It's about creating a life that aligns with your true self. When you live authentically, you attract people and opportunities that resonate with who you really are. And it can be a transformative process that leads to more happiness and more fulfillment. So it's not just about the energy, but certainly I think, at least for me, was the missing link. The one thing I had not connected to this pursuit and this journey of vibrant energy. And I think is the secret sauce. No matter what you do, if you cannot be yourself, if you're not your authentic self, you're not going to experience that vibrant energy. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, and for being yourself is not only liberating, but it's incredibly energizing. When you embrace who you truly are, you tap into this boundless source of energy and joy. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor and share it with someone that needs a little more authenticity and energy in their lives. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more, and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.